Okay, so I have more good news for for the LGBT plus community in Europe. And that is the Council of Europe adopts resolution against conversion therapies. So that's always a good thing. Now, this comes from the publication Deutschlandfunk. Never heard of it, but Ground News assures me it's a center publication. So if anybody has a problem with the reporting, that says way more about them than anything else. All right. The resolution adopted by the Parliamentary Assembly in Strasbourg calls on the legislatures of the member states to prohibit such practices. Conversion therapies are defined as procedures that aim to change or suppress a person's sexual identity or sexual orientation. This includes, for example, attempts to persuade homosexual or transgender people to adopt a heterosexual lifestyle. Okay, one slight problem with that last sentence. Transgender people can be heterosexual. So the sentence should read, this includes, for example, attempts to persuade homosexual or transgender people to adopt a heterosexual or a cisgender lifestyle. What the fuck a cisgender lifestyle is? Not a clue, but I don't know what the hell a heterosexual lifestyle is either. So, anyway, the resolution states that such measures are scientifically unfounded, harmful to health, and a violation of human rights. Several European states, including Germany, have already banned conversion practices, which are primarily carried out in religious organizations, either entirely or partially. Right, because it's certain religious organizations that are the ones who are vilifying the LGBT plus communities. So, of course, they're the ones that are carrying it out. The Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe serves as a platform for political dialogue among the 46 member states, but has no legislative power. Okay. So, so that is the end of that article. Now, even though this body has no legislative power, obviously that's a first step. And it's a good first step. So hopefully it will turn into the entire EU is going to ban conversion therapy. Because it's scientifically unfounded, which is why a lot of religious organizations are the ones behind it, because a lot of these religious organizations don't give a rat's ass about science. And a violation, harmful to health, and a violation of human rights. Exactly. And it's mostly harmful to mental health. Because imagine, you know how you feel. You know you're attracted to a certain gender, or you know that you have gender dysphoria. Having somebody else bullying you into, for trying desperately to ignore how you feel, to ignore that you're attracted to the same sex or multiple genders or whatever your sexual orientation is, or being told that your gender dysphoria doesn't actually exist. Of course, that's going to erode your mental health, which will also erode physical health, but, and what if you happen to be intersex? I mean, how can somebody tell you you're a certain gender when you literally have sex organs of more than one gender? I mean, the hell? What do you think? How can you tell that person how to feel when their own bodies are basically saying, seriously? I mean, if you are intersex and you have sexual organs of both biological sexes, okay, how can anyone tell you that you should act like one gender or the other when your own body is like, yeah, do whatever you want, dude. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, come on. Trying to figure out who you are is hard enough without having people who have absolutely no clue what your experiences are or what your body is telling you, trying to tell you how you should think and feel. It's just maddening that there are people out there who are so insistent that the world should function the way they want it to, that they just can't accept that the world doesn't function in these neat little boxes that they want them to. I mean, obviously, it would be easier if everyone fit into one box or another, but that just does not happen. There isn't a it isn't, oh, you are either heterosexual or you're sinful or you're um cisgender or you're sinful. That just isn't a thing, because there are plenty of heterosexuals who, aren't exactly what I would call godly. There are plenty of cisgender people who people wouldn't consider to be godly. I mean, so to just assume that someone is good simply because of whom they are attracted to, and the other person isn't because of whom they're attracted to, or because one person has gender dysphoria and the other doesn't, it's just madness. Because, okay, you want to believe that everything is black and white. Fine. You can live in that world. You're not going to flourish very well in that world, but you're welcome to live in that world. Forcing others to live in that world, however, not a good idea. So yeah, this is a good first step. And I also, knowing that Germany has already passed a law against conversion therapy is great. It just says several European states, including Germany, so I don't know what other European states it is, but that's always a good thing. That can never be a bad thing, because, I mean, I guess if someone chooses to go into conversion therapy, I guess technically that would be fine. But the fact remains is that we have laws. In this country, in European countries, we have laws protecting people from themselves. There just happen to be certain laws that protect people from themselves. This could be considered one of them. Because if you are a member of the LGBT plus community and you're self-loathing because everyone around you is telling you that there's something wrong with you, and you'd be willing to give conversion therapy a try. No, that's just going to mess you up even more. And so it's good to have something out there that basically says, no, we in this case, we know better than you do. You're just, this is the way you are. Nothing's going to change it. You might try to think that, like, if you actually are either bisexual or pansexual, you can pretend that the conversion therapy helped you. But did it really? No, it didn't, because you could just happen to be one of the bisexuals or pansexuals who prefer the opposite gender. So there's nothing to see here. But if you are strictly homosexual, pretending that you're not, how is this beneficial to you? Because let's face it, when somebody says that homosexuality is a choice, or that being transgender is a choice, that is basically them saying that if they wanted to, they could choose to do that. The fact that these are the same people who would be repulsed at the thought kind of proves the point that it's not a choice. Because if that was a choice you could freely make, you wouldn't be repulsed. The fact that you're repulsed, yeah. I believe that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.